2 legendary spells were already added into the game. What's stopping there to be more, as well as the possibility of having legendary armor in the game? Today we are going to discuss that on why these should be added into the game, and obviously what types of spells and armors we should get in the future. Let's jump straight into the video for today. Welcome back to another Dungeon Quest video. Yes, these are kind of a bit sparse at the moment. Sorry guys, a lot's happening in my personal life, as well as everything's just going crazy and there's no updates anywhere on any game right now, so this is absolutely insane to see. But as you guys can see from the title today, why legendary armor and spells should be added into Roblox Dungeon Quest. Obviously, we've done a ton of videos here on Dungeon Quest, and obviously we're going to be doing a few updated ones very soon. So if you guys would like to see every single spell in the entirety of Dungeon Quest from Desert Temple all the way to Volcanic Chambers, let me know down in the comment section below. But today we are doing legendary armor and legendary spells. Obviously, I'm gonna be the first to say I would love to see these in the game, and I know a lot of you guys would too. Obviously, we did add in 2 brand new legendary spells just very recently with the 1 billion update, I think it was, when we had like double XP, we had all that too. But we also had some brand new spell drops, being the Inner Rage and the Inner Focus in the legendary tier, and it does what, 90% damage, which is like an extra 10% on top of the 80 ones that we already, yeah, you guys get it. So we had 2 legendary spells added in, and they are very rare, and I have hardly actually seen many of them trading, for sale, anything like that inside of the game. So what would the game be like if we had more legendary options, legendary tiers, or even just its own legendary uniqueness to the entirety of the game? And obviously, legendary armor. Would it give better stats? How much better of stats would it give? Etc, etc. Obviously, we have a lot that we can talk about. And obviously, I know a ton of you guys are going to be like, there is no point for this, but obviously, we're getting into like what, the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th dungeons eventually, or adding into a different part of the game. So we kind of on a stalemate here. Obviously, we've had the same type of dungeon system since Pirate, where it has just been insane and nightmare mode, and it's usually only one tier of armor for the entirety of Insane, and then you get 2 different armor types in Nightmare, and that gives you like around 9 to 12 weapons every single time, and obviously around 9 to 12 spells, just really just depending on the amount of content they add in per dungeon, and obviously per, you know, update, because we do know updates take a long time to do. And obviously we saw a lot more content in Winter and Desert. Obviously, there may be a bit too much content in those 2 dungeons, but obviously I would have loved to have seen more from the game back then when it did have a ton more content. Obviously, different tiers, obviously having a dedicated, like, you know, this is better than this is better than that, and obviously having better tiers as well. I found when I was rerunning the dungeons this time around that I had a lot more troubles getting items than I thought I would. Obviously, we're leveling up super duper fast because of the event that we did have a while ago, and obviously it has slowed down now that we are in what, King's Castle, which is absolutely crazy to like believe that we're actually here finally. But to see that we're having a more of an issue with leveling up and having the damage just and the health just not match right now, I can see why it was very hard to begin with. And now we are all the way in Volcanic Chambers. Ever since then, every dungeon has been insane and nightmare. Kind of upset at that. I would love to see a new mode added into the dungeon, and maybe we can even do that on another day's video. But as I said, today is armor and spells. I would personally love to see certain spells made into legendary tiers that we already do have. Obviously, my options and yours are going to be completely different, and there is no guarantee this is ever going to be added into the game. This is just purely my thoughts and suggestions, as well as the community's thoughts and suggestions put into this one idea to create this video for you guys today. So let's see, the types of spells I would like to see go into like a legendary. Obviously, we do not need healing spells as a legendary. That's kind of already overpowered as it is. All you have to do is kind of equip 1 fully maxed out mage weapon. It's kind of crazy when you think of it like that, but I would love to see more of the damage ones, obviously, as legendary. We did get a percentage damage one with the recent legendary spells, but I don't know, I think bringing in legendary tiers of spells could even kind of make the old spells meta again. Obviously, we did have a like place where it was like what Skull Flames was like the best in Samurai Palace or something like that, and it was like 3, 4, 5 dungeons behind, which is absolutely insane when you think about that, when older spells were a lot better and a lot of them are getting fixed, because I kind of hate that we kind of just chuck everything out in the next update. So seeing things like that, like I would love to see Illusion Blast or Chromatic Rain as a legendary spell to bring it back into the dungeons. Obviously have the idea to like keep them or even just have the chance to upgrade them. Like you have to collect an X amount of this spell to actually upgrade it to a legendary that does damage on this level. I don't know, what would you guys think of that? Would you guys like a different type of way to make armor and spells legendary as well? I don't know, maybe an enchanting process or a anvil type combining blacksmith type version? I don't know, there's a lot that you could actually do to create like legendary armor than just having it drop from the actual dungeon. So you actually have to work for it and work for it really well compared to making it just so you could have it. And obviously even making the items non-tradable, I don't think that would work. Obviously it would kind of ruin the absolute economy if you could not trade them, but imagine having to go to a blacksmith and making a legendary armor piece with around 30 of the same pieces of armor. So for example, you could upgrade your gray to green with 10, your green to blue with 20, your blues to purples with 50, your purples to legendary with 100, for example, of the same type of like chest piece or boots or something along those lines. But this would separate armor into multiple different pieces. So if you could have 3 different armor slots, one being a helmet, one being a chest piece, and one being your legs, or even just adding in your boots and having 4 different options, this gives us a ton more content for the game as well. Ton of different ways to mix and match sets. So for example, you could have boots that have healing capabilities on them, whereas your chest piece is like warrior and your helmet is tank or something along those lines like that. This opens a ton of different opportunities with current dungeons and even just like revamping the game in general. We will go over a revamping video within the next few days as well, but I think a blacksmith area to actually upgrade your armor to legendary would be a lot better than dropping a legendary armor from the dungeon itself. Obviously, I kind of agree with spells being dropped as a legendary, but I think it should be its own spell. Obviously, having the purple version of Inner Rage and Inner Focus and then having a legendary version is kind of obsolete. It does give you 10% more damage and it does do a lot more, but I kind of would just like to see legendary spells be its own individual thing. So for example, we're gonna say the next legendary spell is let's see, AoE heals, which is like a mage casts a healing orb around the area and they can only go into that area to be healed or something along those lines, but it's like a bubble or something like that. But that would be a very overpowered spell, even though I said healing spells shouldn't be it, but as an example. Or even just having like a warrior spell where it summons like multiple different things to go and fight for you within obviously a little area within you, and they run out and they kind of like do something, but something unique, something that hasn't been done before and things that will not be done in the next few dungeons. Obviously it gives you a big chance to actually broaden your horizons with your spells, and I have seen hundreds of spell suggestions, hundreds of armors, and just a lot of dungeon suggestions in general. So I would like to see these ones be added in. So for example, if you are doing a dungeon release around a holiday, for example, you could even make a legendary spell drop limited time from these dungeons, being like a, hey, this is our Halloween event, let's have this dungeon drop this special legendary spell from every single dungeon with its just like different like level requirements. For example, Pumpkin King gets spawned from every single spell, and it's a warrior or a skill, I don't even know, but it gets spawned and you can get this spell in every single dungeon, but depending on the dungeon that you get it in is the level that it is actually at. So for example, a level 5 spell would be down in like desert, whereas a level 100 spell is like in canals and things like that. So it actually does scale to the dungeon that you get it in. So that means there are different variants of the spell, but obviously just with different levels or something along those lines, and it does different damage rates. Would you guys like that type of suggestion inside of the game? Let me know if you do, or if you don't, down in the comment section below. We have a ton to go over in the next few days, and if you are still listening to me talk right now, what would you guys like to see next to these types of Dungeon Quest videos? Could a Dungeon Quest revamp fix the entirety of Dungeon Quest? Should a third ability slot be added into the game, and if so, how will we go about it? And will Dungeon Quest ever get a secret pet update? There are quite a few suggestions that I need to bring to your guys' attention with what could happen in the future of Dungeon Quest. This is kind of a little mini new series of the future of Dungeon Quest, and I think it'd be really cool to see what you guys bring along to the table this time around. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. Also hit the notification bell because you want to be notified every single time we post a video or start a stream. I do have the day off work on my birthday, so October 17th for Australians, which is a Saturday. I will be streaming, which is Friday the 16th of October for Americans, so do keep that in mind. I do stream it around like 5, 6, 7 p.m. American time, where it's like 9, 10 a.m. Australian time. So yeah, make sure to keep out for that, and let's get ready for the birthday stream next week. So I hope you guys have a lovely day or night wherever you guys are in the world, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Bye guys.